Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my writers and weirdos. I am KibbyRose. It is Wednesday, Wednesday, April 30th at 5 p.m. I am Authortubes, lesbian psychic stoner. I'm here to entertain you a little bit while we do some sprints to get some work done. I've got plenty of work to get done. And I got a couple things to share off. So today I have been able to finish all the collections for all the photos for my Dance Moms episodes. So I am working on episode 8 of the Dance Mom pictures, of actually naming the picture of naming each slide. I'm busting right along and everything. I've actually matched up. I finished the putting together project for the season 3 all the season 3 episodes. I have collected all the pictures for all of the picture episodes for season 1. I have collected all the notes for season 1 to do the react video. Cora and I are going to be doing the react video this weekend. So I'm trekking right along with my little project. Whatever you're doing today, go ahead and throw it in the comments. Let me know what you're doing today. I enjoy and encourage and like celebrating people's accomplishments during the sprints and everything else. So NaNoWriMo, we used to do word counts. That's why Cora throws her word counts in, because she's a writer, she's an author. So she's always, when she does the sprints, she's doing writing sprints. Me, I'm always saying whatever I'm doing, because doing sprints when it comes to work keeps me more productive. And I find myself not sitting in sitting for too long and not moving, which you tend to do when you're ADHD and enjoy your work. So I'm going to swooshy swoosh a little bit, because I do have a Just Fab thing to show off. And for anybody who is here, because we are doing the 1 week of free readings, or the week of free readings because of Beltane, which we celebrate tomorrow. If you have a psychic question, just go ahead and throw it in the comments. I will do the best I can to answer them. But we're going to swooshy swoosh, because I got my order in, the other half of the order anyway. And so here we go. Okay, so just so you know, for all of you who are aware, I started Just Fab because I was looking for high-end, higher quality stuff to be able to replace, because I knew that Shein and Temu were going to be hit with the tariffs. Did I think Just Fab was going to be hit with tariffs? No. Have they? Yes. Have they decided to play the political part of a poll of actually showing it on their website? Yes. Has this made me decide to no longer support Just Fab? Yeah. 100%. So this will be the last time that you guys see anything that I show you from Just Fab. I will be switching to Target, because they have actually upped a lot of their styles, and Earthbound, because there's something going on in the background that I am in discussions with. So that is what's going to be coming in the future. But I wanted to show off the last 2 things that I did get from Just Fab. I am not supporting any country that decides to try to pass down whatever tariffs onto me. If you have tariffs against your country and you're trying to charge me tariffs, that means that your country has tariffs against us. So guess what? I'm not paying it. If you want my business, play fair in the tariff war. So on that note, I am stoked about what I did get from Just Fab, but I will be showing off the outfit later on my TikTok if you follow me on TikTok. So the first thing I wanted to show off was this gorgeous cardigan. It's black and white striped. It fits me perfectly. I've already tried it on. The sleeves are the perfect length. And for anybody who has extremely long arms like me, yes, this is something I always check. It's thicker than I expected it to be, which is I'm really happy about. It's a really thick weave and a really good quality. The buttons are actual like glass type buttons. They're not the cheapy plastic, which I'm really happy about. So, and I needed something that was just like office wear. And I have a dress that I bought. It is that I will be wearing this with. That was my idea for the cardigan, was this office dress that I needed a throw over for. And the next thing I got was her shoes. So these are, for those of you that saw my last unboxing with the dresses, I realized that I didn't have any shoes to go with the maroon dress with the roses on it. So these are the shoes I got to go with the dress. And some of you might be remembering back to that dress, but just bear with me. When you see it, when you see the whole outfit together, you'll understand what I mean. So here are the shoes, the boots to go with it. And they are zip up in the back, which is awesome. So I don't have to worry about retying the front every single time. I prefer the kind that zip up in the back. So those will be coming soon in outfits on my TikTok and on here for anybody who's interested, because I post them first on TikTok and then I post them here. So those are two new things that will be coming soon. Yeah, so I just wanted to show those off. But yeah, that's going to be the last time that you guys see anything from Just Fab. It's going to be more Earthbound and Target from now on. I'm going more for American made stuff. So Cora, hey, I am chilling today. Yeah. Probably should video edit, but letting my back decide. I think that is the best idea, considering we need some more healing energy your way. Actually, well, from what I'm hearing, this is more of a wake-up call to pay a little bit more attention to self while managing the rest of the household. And I know that's not easy to do, but yeah. And your angels are referencing that your creative has been put a little bit on the side burner for now, so that you can concentrate on other things. I would video edit today, because I feel like when it comes to writing, it's like they're showing me. It's almost like if you try to think to write, it's going to hurt. So work with video editing where you just have to listen and go, no, yes, no, cut, go. Because you're so used to, from what I'm seeing, like for you, editing, and it should be, editing is second nature for you. Gosh, and you've been doing it for so long. I mean, doing these picture videos for me has already become second nature, and I've only been doing them for, yeah. Once you start editing pictures, it's like, or editing videos, it's like second nature. So I'm glad to hear that you are actually resting today, though. You don't get many chances to rest. So how is that actually possible? I'd like to know. Did we hand the kids off to grandma? Is somebody, did, as Kathy put it, did we invest in kennel for kids? Sorry. Isn't that called daycare? Anyway, on that note, we're going to hop into a 10-minute sprint. Like I said before, I'm going to be working on video edit, but it's going to be naming the tags for the pictures for the video. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be working on. I slept nice. Dad stayed home because he's the silent hero. Aww. You know what? And in Dance Moms, dude, that reminds me of a line from Dance Moms where one of the ladies asks, like, how do you do, like, she asks, do you have jobs? No. So what do you guys do? We're here all day. So how do you guys take care of things at home? And they all look at her and they're like, we have amazing husbands. And I'm just like, the silent heroes. So thank you, hubby, for taking over for the day so your wife could rest. Cora needed it. And you're super mom anyway. So you deserve it. So figure maybe a couple days break from writing to recharge anyway, unless the bug actually itches. Well, maybe we should catch up on reaction videos then. Maybe that would be a good thing to sit and do, Maybe your angels were trying to get you to do that, unless the bug actually itches. The bug actually itches. Oh, to write again. No, not until the pain goes. Unfortunately, when it comes to your creative, like I explained this before in the last reading, and it was kind of funny because I was listening back to the reading and I explained it again. But yeah, you have only so much energy that you can spread out, and you have such priorities already with the kids and the house and everything else that like the creative is like the one place that they can pull resources from, and it won't affect the functionality of everything else. And it sucks for you because you don't get to be creative, but at the same time they're like, where else are we going to pull it from? Because we're not going to pull the attention from the kids or the home or the relationship or the bills or anything else. Like, so as long as the pain stays at bay, where it's an annoyance, I can definitely react. And that's what I'm like, maybe that's what we should do, is plan on maybe just when you want to write, maybe or when you feel like you need to write and you're not creative, we can set up a reaction video thing and we can go from there. So anyway, as I was saying, it's time for us both to edit videos though, because we do have to get that stuff up for our channels. So we'll continue our conversation after a little 10-minute sprint. For those of you that are new, we usually do a 10-minute sprint first, just in case you have jumped in and need to prep anything for the next 20-minute sprints. For those of us that are used to sprinting, this is just a quick sprint to get us warmed up and ready to go. Honestly, I do it more for myself because sometimes I'm just jumping into sprint and I need the warm up. I already have it on my calendar. Trust me. I already have it on my calendar. I'm excited. I want to, like, I'm looking, well, yeah. You know what? I'm going to apologize because I was about to blame a lot of the lagging on you, but no, the majority of it has been because of situations for you. But this whole weekend lagging situation was because of me and my flooded apartment. And then, yeah. So I apologize for the blame I was about to place on you for us completely lagging, and it's not all your fault. So anyway, next 10 minutes on the clock, and I will see you guys in 10 minutes first. I will see you guys in 10 minutes in 3, 2, 1, and done. that's the end of that sprint. So I was able to get, I think it was like 20. No, I have no idea. I was able to get quite a few tags done for the video. It takes quite a while because, yeah, you have to copy. Yeah. Anyway, it's hard to explain unless you know what you're doing when you're video editing. But we're going to catch up in the comments instead. So Chu, hello Chu. Yeah, he came in and this person or they came in and waved. Murphy's Law, Cora was commenting on our last conversation. Murphy's Law, no apologies. Murphy's Law was in effect for like 2 weeks. Taurus shifting, the sun shifting into Taurus, like caused Murphy's Law to go nuts. It was insane. It was insane. So here's what I feel about Murphy's Law and the 2 weeks that we had. Sandra. Hi, Miss Sandy. Hello, my dear. How are you? It's good to see you. Thank you for coming in and saying hi. Cora is going to lose her mind. I saved the video to continue working yesterday, and I lost 5 minutes. I edited. I noticed this with my own kind of, because I've gotten real quick at editing things in Final Cut Pro, especially when it comes to the Dance Mom videos. If you don't let it finish buffering or transcending, I've had to, there's this little check mark box up at the top. That's the background tasks. It pulls up a little window. I wonder if I can show you. Hold on. Let me see. Let me pull this up. Share screen, window, this one. And we're just going to go like this. So I'm going to remove this. So this little window comes up that runs in the background. If any of this is running while I tried to save it, I lose, or I try to shut it down before any of this is done. It won't save whatever it was that I was working on. So you you don't work in Final Cut Pro, but I know there's a way in iMovie that you kind of have the same option, and you should see if you can pull that up while things are happening, because that's what I end up like checking that before I shut down my computer or anything, before I walk away, because yeah, I noticed that if I shut down my computer while that's still doing stuff, or try to shut down Final Cut Pro while that's still doing stuff, it doesn't save whatever it was that I was working on. It's very frustrating. And it seems like it saves it because the program closes down, but it doesn't actually save it. So yeah. So I'm sorry about your frustrations, but I understand and I can relate. And yeah, unfortunately, it sometimes, it's kind of funny. I was yelling at the phone the other day. It's amazing how much we pay for electronics and apps to work, and they don't work. Like between Wi-Fi, like we pay for all this stuff, but it doesn't work. And not only that, but like, this is why Tesla wanted us to have free electricity. This is why he worked so hard to try to give us free electricity. And JP Morgan was like, oh, no. If I can't make money off of it, you can't do it. And pulled his funding. So we can all blame JP Morgan for not having any free electricity. While we were on that little sprint, Troy and Abby came in and asked me to do a general. And Troy asked for the Alice cards, and Abby, you asked for the crystal cards. And then I have some notes for some rants, because I listened. There's some stuff that has come up in regards to Dance Mom stuff that I kind of want to record on here so that I can clip it into episodes or things that we're doing in the future. So first of all, I'm going to do Troy and Abby's general readings. And Troy, which I'm hearing... we need to do that real quick because we didn't do it from the last reading. So I don't think we did. So, Troy, you just wanted a general. Okay. Well, first of all, Troy and Abby, if you two are fighting and you're using a psychic to figure out whose side is right, that's sneaky. That's sneaky, and you might not be wrong in doing it that way, actually. So let me, Troy, because I feel like we're settling a dispute here. I don't know if this is between wife, but it feels like a very personal dispute for you, Troy. So let's check out what the cards are saying here. So we've got the Knight of Flowers, we've got the Five of Hedgehogs, and we've got the Three of Hedgehogs. So all of this is within your control because we have no major Arcana cards. So yeah, well, the Knight of Flowers, but that's not a major card. Knight of Flowers, here we go. The Knight of Flowers represents a fiery, passionate, temperamental person. Troy. One moment he's sociable and enjoyable. The next moment he may be dumping rainwater on your head and calling you out of your, chasing you out of your garden. I'm sorry. I just know you, Troy. That's why I'm giggling. I can't help it. It cracks me up. I'm sorry. It cracks me up when the cards are like so dead on to people's personalities. Okay. The inspiration from his action-oriented nature. The Knight of Flowers is assigned to actively pursue your interests and put meaningful momentum behind your goals. Abby, you might be the one who's losing this argument. Five of Hedgehogs. Don't get ahead of yourself. Oh, I just felt that rush. Troy, Abby, don't get ahead of yourself. We have to finish the rest of the cards. That is actually representing past. So let's see current. Okay. Which is the 5 of Hedgehogs. All right, so 5 of Hedgehogs represents instability involving resources or life at home. This could refer to conflict within your family or a precarious situations involving finances or a career. Make decisions carefully and conserve resources to see you through this challenging time. So like I said, you might not be right. So don't jump to conclusions just yet. So, and then we have the 8 of Hedgehogs, which is, it encourages you to keep working hard to learn new skills. Repetition and dedication aren't always exciting, but they'll build a skill that will benefit you greatly in the future. Take pride in your work. You're doing great. Okay, so, well, Abby, you wanted the spirit cards. I'm not doing the spirit cards because I feel like this is an argument between you two. So we're going to use the same cards because I feel like that's going to be able to give you more of a balanced answer on this argument. So for Abby. Oh, Abby, you are upset because you just made my eyeball shake. Okay. Abby. Troy, you might really be wrong. There's a lot of power behind Abby in this. A lot of power behind Abby in this. Almost like divine power behind her in this. The Fool in reverse. Oh, and Abby, you've got the most power behind you. Strength, right side up. Knight of Teacups in reverse. I have a feeling this is them warning you to not be cocky, even though you're right. So the Fool in reverse, we don't even need to read this. The Fool in reverse. Common sense tells you the Fool in reverse. What happens when a fool is not a fool anymore? Obviously. Strength, heads up. We don't even have to define strength. Strength is basically you are correct. I will read strength just because it is the card right before, but honestly, like if this doesn't explain that you are correct, Abby, you are right. Yeah. So, strength. Now I see why we did Troy first. Upright. You're faced with challenges and seem frightening and insurmountable. Strength reminds you to stay calm. Acting out of frustration won't help the situation. Now I see why they wanted me to read this. Face any obstacles that you encounter with a brave, level-headed collectiveness. If you do, you may just discover that the frightening beast you thought you were up against is no more ferocious than a dandelion. Aw, Troy. Aw. The ferocious beast is a dandelion, but aren't all husbands dandelions with their wives? Come on now. Okay, Knight of Teacups. Not just that. Like, aren't all male or masculine roles dandelions with their feminines? Teacups. We're in teacups. Okay. Knight of Teacups. All right. Well, this was in reverse. When the Knight of Teacups can be chivalrous when upright, his reversed orientation symbolizes entitlement, jealousy, and indignation. When he doesn't get his way, he becomes moody and lashes out. So it's exactly like I called it. They're trying to tell you not to act like a spoiled brat just because you're right. When he doesn't get it, this tarot card can be assigned to make sure you're managing feelings of disappointment or jealousy in a healthy way. Bitterness, sulking won't do you any good now. So just because you're right, you are. I hate to say it, girl, but you tend to be a sore winner. You tend to rub it in people's faces, and this is not. Yeah, yeah. So Abby, Troy, very smart to come to a psychic to handle a dispute, a marital dispute. Abby, Troy, I hate to say it, but Abby is correct in this situation. Whatever it is that is going on, Abby is correct. You need to listen to her. And at the same time, Abby, be a good wife. Just because you're right doesn't mean you need to be a cocky bee. Okay? So, on that note, let me put my cards away because I only needed one deck. I have my next little rant, and this will just be real quick because I just wanted to touch on these topics already. This is kind of in response to Christy on Back to the Bar in regards to her haters. If there's one thing I have learned in regards to having haters and people who don't like you, the best thing you can do is ignore them and be successful. The more you're successful, the better off you'll be. Unfortunately, because of the show that you were on in the past, and because of the reputation that you built, that was built for you, not even that you built, that was built for you based on how Dance Moms was edited, there is going to be a group of people that are out there just to hate monger. I think we're seeing a big effect of what hate mongering does. I think we're exposing, if anything needs to be canceled, it needs to be hate mongering. However, I don't think that you need to change anything about what you do, what you say, or how you say it, because haters are going to, even if you change what you do and how you do it, the truth is inevitably they're going to find something else about you to hate on. If they really don't like you, ultimately they're going to figure out something about you that they're going to hate on. You can't appease everybody. So I absolutely, I'm a diehard Dance Moms fan who honestly loved you back in the day because I understood that you were you basically a bulldog with lipstick, like my mom was fighting for her daughter. But at the same time, I appreciate the fact that you can take accountability. And I appreciate the fact that even on, as you were ranting about your haters, you put respect on those of us that really do try to be the best fans that we can be. Which isn't always easy to do when you're trying to go to bat for Dance Moms, because yeah, there are some haters out there, and man, I've blocked quite a few people on for trying to bait me into arguments or conversations in regards to how evil Dance Moms is. And honestly, if anything, I think Dance Moms should be used as a learning tool, as a learning lesson, as on multiple levels of how to be a better parent, how to be a better teacher, how reality television can affect people, how to handle mental and emotional abuse, and how to handle traumatizing situations. A lot of times, if your child can watch it and you can explain it and they can go through it, they don't have to go through it. They might be a little bit better off if avoiding the situation when they might come upon it in the future as adults. So anyway, that's my rant on that. And then the other rant I have is Jojo Siwa. Okay. Oh, where do I start? Okay, so about a couple months ago, I would have to go look back in my notes, but I said she was lost. She hasn't found herself, and she's about to hit a wall. And with what she has recently done on the UK Big Brother and how she has become the perfect poster child of actions speak louder than words. And not only that, but honestly, I used to relate a lot to JoJo Siwa. I not anymore. I don't relate to cheating. And as much as they try to explain it away, that she was trying to find herself or didn't know herself quite yet or whatever else, it's very clear how calculated she was when she started discussing that she had to be careful about what she was saying because she knew there was cameras around. Which that in and of itself tells me that from day one, JoJo has played a character. She has absolutely no clue who she is. None. Absolutely no clue. I bet you if you left that girl alone, actually on an island for a week, she would lose her mind because she wouldn't know what to do with herself. There's nobody there telling her what to do. There's no yes men. And there's no cameras dictating how her behavior is going to go. I really I don't want to say put her in a psych ward because I think that's a bit extreme, but truthfully, that's kind of what she needs is an environment where there's no cameras, there's no eyes, nobody gives a damn about, if like your extreme behavior actually gets judged on a level where you should probably, be considering how you're affecting other people. And God, it's just, DBT, that girl needs DBT. Anyway, when it comes to JoJo, I will no longer I can't support. I just can't support. I just can't support it. As another victim, no. Here's the thing is there's part of me that thought that for a minute, but here's the thing. Most of the children that were forced into child stardom and didn't want it for themselves by JoJo's age had started breaking free or trying to break free from the behavior. JoJo's gung-ho. JoJo literally the problem is with JoJo is she was never given the opportunity to create herself. She was always had to create a persona. So when it comes down to actually her being a person, she doesn't know how to do it because just like Ryan Reynolds said, I think they run into people, collect pieces from people's personalities that they like and conjoin it together into a mold that they call a personality. And that's not a personality. That's not finding yourself. That's not being who you are. Actually, that's the furthest thing from being who you are. And frankly, when Ryan Reynolds said it, I was like, that is literally a definition of insanity and personality disorder. And the fact that JoJo Siwa's behavior on the show, her behavior is too calculated for me to believe that she wouldn't have tried to break free by now if she actually didn't enjoy the stardom. And you'll see on early Dance Moms, even on the Ultimate Dance Moms, Abby's Ultimate Dance Moms dance competition or whatever it was, JoJo was very much wanting the limelight from day one. To me, it's very clear. There's parts where you can tell her mom is like, look, if you don't want to do this, we'll leave. Like there's parts in Dance Moms where you can tell her mom's done. Her mom doesn't want to be there anymore. Her mom's ready to go home. And JoJo's like, no, I want this. And her mom's just like, fine, we'll do it. And I can tell you right now, JoJo's mom is smart enough that even on Dance Moms, she had the kind of contract where they could have walked away if they wanted to. That's why during the season when JoJo got a better deal with Nickelodeon, they did walk away. But no, I fully believe, unfortunately, I don't think she was, if anything, she's a victim of her own choices. She's a victim of, if anything, she had this idea of what stardom was, and she worked so hard to become that image of what she thought stardom was, that she completely lost any grip hold of who she truly was. It's almost like like I said, she needs to be left on a remote island with no people around, with no yes people and no cameras. Literally, it's almost like she needs to be like, or even 72 hours, maybe put her on, like, and that's the thing is I hate saying it this way because it's like she almost needs to be put on a 72-hour hold. The only problem, the reason I say it that way though is because that's the only thing I can contain it to, because honestly I don't see any way that JoJo will be able to find herself if she continues hanging out with if she doesn't do something dramatic. And she's going to continuously hit this wall. It's like she's falling down the tree and she's hitting every branch on the way down, and it's going to keep happening. And at this point it's almost like the tree is growing at the same time she's falling, so she's just continuously hitting branches and it's not going to stop. So we'll see what happens. I can't support her anymore though, honestly. I just she had such a good thing with this girl in Australia. This girlfriend in Australia was, or they, them, whatever, was an amazing person, really was. I think how amazing that person was just showed, like, if anything, it just shows just how of a, like, to me anyway, it just shows how big of a piece of poo JoJo is. And for me, for me, this entire situation, I think, exposed way more than she ever wanted it to expose for people like me, truthfully, because for me, there's really no going back from this. There's so many chances that I've given her up to this point where I was just like, okay, she's finding herself. Okay, she's just doing, but the way she massively manipulated or tried to manipulate the public, herself, her partner, everybody around her, everybody in that house, like, and she had my sympathy at first because of comments that were made at the beginning. She honestly had my sympathy at first because, yeah, a lot of people don't realize that if you're a lesbian like me and you have a guy say, "Oh, I can change you," you don't realize that you actually just threatened sexual assault. Do you realize that? I wonder how many guys actually realize that when you come up to a lesbian and she tells you she's a lesbian and you're like, "Oh, I can change that." That's what you're doing. And it's happened to me so many times. And I don't know how many times I've just kind of looked at them like, you don't even realize what you're doing. That's how dumb you are. So we'll see if that changes in the future, because truthfully, that's the kind of stuff that DEI was supposed to change. By the way, for all of you preaching the DEI movement, that's the kind of stuff that it was supposed to change, not gender neutralized bathrooms. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to add and blow your guys' eardrums out. Sorry. We're going to add the 20-minute. We got 20 minutes on the clock. So 20-minute timer. I am going to get more pictures named, or try to anyway. Amy, she yells at me, and you yell at me every time, girl. I am watching it's the Miami Worldwide Stage, Ultra Miami, live at Ultra Miami Worldwide Stage 1. That one. There you go. That is what I'm watching. My phone is dirty. I need to clean that. It's disgusting when I've heard guys say that. I don't they think it's funny, and it's like, yeah, you're literally threatening me. Like, that is what you're threatening. Like, and no, you can't. For every lesbian will tell you this. No, you can't. Sorry. And most of us that are of my age, especially, we already tried the other side. So you definitely can't. Anyway, so I will see you all in 20 minutes. All right. So 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye. sprint. That sprint, wrong button. Wrong button. That sprint is done. So I was able to, well, I got a little bit of work done in regards to naming the photos, but I did more of getting the outfits together for the TikToks that I'm going to create. So if you're curious to see what outfits I put together, go back a little bit in the sprint. It's towards the end. It's like at the 7-minute mark, I think, is when the outfits are. So of the timer countdown. That's what I mean. On that note, I'd like to get into a little conversation because some of my predictions have come true. And I just kind of want to giggle a little bit because Gina, the entire situation with Disney, when I was warning them that if they weren't careful, that things were going to come to head all at the same time, and they were going to face, they were going to have to take accountability, even though they don't want to. Well, I just found out, looking at the scheduling for court, because yes, Cora and I are still planning on reacting to things. I found out that Disney will just happen to be going to court with the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni case at the exact same time as they're going to court in the Gina Carano case. Yeah, not going to look good. And here's another thing. Disney is fighting Discovery with Justin's team on not wanting to release information about the Wolverine situation. It wasn't Wolverine. Deadpool. Thank you. I'm like, there's too many Marvel. I don't keep up with all those characters. But I think it's very interesting that even for Disney, things are hitting ahead. Not only that, but did you know that Disney Plus is going to end up being an almost $1 trillion loss for Disney? So if Snow White bombing at the box office hit wasn't a wake up call, if Revenge of the Sith being put out back in Star Wars, back in the theaters, and did better than Snow White did, and people like me who would have even gone to see Star Wars didn't even know about it, the fact that now the Blake Lively situation, the Gina Carano situation, the whole conspiracy the whole hypocrisy, I should say, between should I say Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. Disney, using deep doo-doo. We tried to warn you. You didn't want to believe us. People like Iger, learn from Iger. The more you tighten your grip this year, the more things you're going to lose. Leia said it the best. The more you tighten your grip, Commander, the more star systems will slip through your fingers. Will you listen to Leia, please? If the world won't listen to anybody, can we listen to Princess Leia, please? Please? Anyway, so let me jump in the comments because I see Cora is throwing in her little comments here. I am almost done editing to where I left off. Woohoo! I'm just glad I remembered one edit that I found funny when I did it. Yes. See, and that is the good thing, but also sometimes you'll catch, going back and having to re-listen to it, you'll catch things that you didn't realize that were funny before. And yeah. And I'm wondering if are you sure you're not just slap happy, Cora? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyway, yay. It's Gal Gadot suing them at the same time. I don't know if she's going to. There has been some discussions going on behind the scenes in regards to contractual things. Gal Gadot might just trade jobs for not suing, if that makes sense. We'll see what happens. Disney's going to have to save face one way or another. But I think it's interesting that I predicted Disney that they were going to have a downfall if they didn't try to fix themselves, and it's definitely happening. Along with, I've heard Iger was given a motive. He needed to step down or put live actions on pause. I can't believe they didn't make him step down. Well, he's already put that was old news. Actually, when it comes to what is now in discussions behind the scenes is that Iger either fixes things or he walks away looking like the biggest failure that Disney has ever put on the board. Not only because the thing is, truthfully, not only did the movies and the box office do horribly, not only did that on that front did it do horribly, their mainstream, they own CNN and MSNBC. We've seen how horribly they are doing in the ratings. They can't sell CNN to save their lives. On top of that, you have the theme parks that are completely falling apart. Nobody's going. Disney is offering, that's the email I wanted to bring up the other day that I forgot to. They're sending out an offer for $70 offer deals for $70 tickets to a one-day pass for both parks in California for $70. I was dumbfounded. I have never seen prices that low since I lived in California, and they offered the California discount. So not only that, but Universal has already hit them out of the park in regards to their summer sales. Disney's desperate. Nobody's going to their parks this summer. Then you have the cruise lines where they had 18 cruise ships in the making, which took any profit they had away from their cruise channel, which was supposedly going to save them. And then Disney Plus, they've lost $1 trillion on Disney Plus. You look at every front that Disney is on, and they have failed. They have failed dramatically. Like, if you had any stocks in Disney, get them the hell out, because Disney, they're gonna need to, like, it's almost, I hate to say it, but Disney might have to get bought out to be saved. It's that, like, they're not wanting to face the facts of how dire the situation is, but I can see it. So it's one of the, like, seriously, they seriously need to, and the problem is at this point, they've got to caught their, like, it doesn't matter who comes in and changes gears. They're going to lose by the end of this year because of everything that's already been put in motion. They were warned to change direction when they could have saved it. They're not going to save it. I'm not saying that Disney is ended. I'm saying that they're going to need, we're not going to see the level of Disney that we saw in 2010 for probably another 10 years. It's going to take that long for Disney to recover and recoup their losses from this. I'm not saying Disney is down and out. Disney is too big of a company to be down and out. But let's just say that, you know how Universal Studios and Magic Mountain kind of took a back burner to things for a while. Let's just say that it's Disney's turn to take a back burner to things. And it definitely didn't have to be that way. And unfortunately, it's in the car. It's, from what I can see, yeah. It's going to have to be blazing a whole new pathway in order for them to save themselves, because every aspect of their business that they're trying to do right now isn't working. So I've heard he wanted to change his mind and retire in 2027, and the board said no. He tried. He did. He came to the board and said, let me fix this. But the problem is the whole reason he's here right now is because he said, let me fix this. And all it's done is gotten worse since he's been in control. And here's the thing. I gave him credit. I gave him the benefit of the doubt for the first couple of years, because I was like, he's fixing what the other guy did. Like, it's kind of like a presidency. You have to wait a couple of years to actually see how their changes take effect. It is very clear that at this point that the changes that Iger made is literally throwing Disney into the ground. Lilo and Stitch is probably the only reason they won't fall this year to oblivion. Minecraft, Lilo, Stitch, and they have that other movie, the Freaky Friday movie, I think, because my angels are bringing that in. Truthfully, I pulled that one out of my butt, so that's got to be one from the angels, because I don't even remember that one. But I guess there's a third one that's coming at the end of the year that's going to be it. But the problem is it's not their saving grace, because their saving grace is going to have to be a couple of years of actual money making ventures, and they're going to have to turn to stopping. They need to stop spending $200 to $350 million just to make one movie. That is the thing. It's almost like here in Spokane, where we're dealing with these plumbers and electricians that see that we're like somewhat well off because we've been my parents were financially smart with their money, that they see dollar signs. So they're getting milked for every dime and dollar that they can get, or that they can be milked for. And that's what I feel like happened. Minecraft is a Warner Brothers, but Freaky Friday, yeah. Minecraft is Warner Brothers. But yeah, there's just, and here's another thing is I really think that the theaters need to reassess how they're handling movies with the industry now. Hollywood needs to stop expecting movie theaters to take the fall when they decide to create crappy movies. I think movie theaters and owners should hold Hollywood accountable. And basically, this is how I think it should go. I think that Hollywood should get paid based on their movie sales. A theater shouldn't have to buy a movie rights in order to play it in their theaters and then take a fall if they don't make any money. I think it should be rented for a third of the price, and then they pay the difference on whatever makes whatever the ticket sales make. And I think that's honestly how it needs to go, because I think Hollywood got a little too cocky about how much money they can spend to make a movie, because they're just going to buy it. Like they're so used to that old mentality of, well, they're going to have to watch it if we put it out there because there isn't anything else. And it's like, not anymore. Truthfully, here's the truth of it. If we really wanted to, we could make our own movies. There's the facts. And that's what Hollywood needs to wake up to, because one of the best movies that won the I forget which movie it was that won the cinematic award in that, for the big film festival, the budget was like $2 million. That was it. $2 million. And it won first place. So anyway, and it was an animated movie about a cat. And truthfully, I watched it. It was really cute. I honestly when I watched it, I was like, I will take this 30-minute movie over this little kitty cat any day over that catastrophe of what they called Snow White. And here's another thing is like, here's another thing I saw in regards to Disney and all of this with Rachel Zegler, Gina Carano, Blake Lively, all of it. There is definitely going to be a reset and a rewrite on how actors and actresses are contracted in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up with a Zegler clause or a Rachel Zegler clause in all of their contracts of basically like, while we make this movie, while this movie is in production, you keep your mouth shut about any political whatever that you have going on. I honestly think there's going to be a clause in every contract from here on out, because before it was just common sense. You don't want to lose your job, you keep your damn mouth shut. Now we're dealing with issues where it's not just people in California that are sue happy. All of Hollywood is now sue happy, and keeping things behind the scenes and under the rug is what destroyed people in the past. And so it's no longer being allowed to happen. And so I think truthfully in the future, there's going to be a clause. But here's another thing is I never understood why there wasn't that clause in the first place, because Walgreens, Walmart, Amazon, all the big companies have that clause where they basically state that if you post anything on social media, you're representing them. And I didn't think that should have been allowed for even like a Walmart, like an hourly employee at Walmart can get in trouble for posting a picture of them in their uniform and talking politically. But after watching the catastrophe that it literally ensued with Rachel Zegler, I can see why Walmart is like, yes, that no name, no person hourly worker is going to keep their mouth shut about their political views when wearing our uniform. Like, I get it now. There's part of me that before contested it, and now I get it. And here's another thing. I have no problem with Rachel Zegler having a political view. None at all. I had a problem when she started opening her mouth in regards to the movie. And not only that, but when she was like, if you voted for Trump, don't bother seeing me. I don't need your business. It's like, you stuck your iron in the fire and then you burned yourself with it. And now you're going to call yourself the victim. I don't get it. And then I also think it's freaking hilarious because I swear I'm the only one who mentioned the whole jaw thing about Rachel Zegler. And now there's a bunch of memes going off about her and her jaw in that movie. Oh, it's cracking me up because I was just, yeah, that was one big thing that I brought up was like, what is with them like filming her jaw the whole time? I didn't get it. Today's movies would be a lot of Renaissance era movie Cinderellas. Original Snow White, Alice in Wonderland said they don't work like that anymore. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I think them putting Star Wars Revenge of the Sith back in the theaters, because here's something I'm going to tell you the truth about. Revenge of the Sith was the worst. It made the worst amount of money. when it came to the Star Wars series, when they did that whole rewrite when I was in my 20s, where me and my dad were actually still in somewhat of a relationship because they put the movies out in the theater. Anyway, see how I start like, wow, that's PTSD, isn't it? But they put it back in the theaters. It made more money than Snow White. It actually grossed in the top 3. I think that is proof to a lot of these big companies that, hey, look what we want. This whole thing that you're doing right now, there was also, it's kind of sad. There was a movie that was re-put out in theaters that was originally aired in, I think it was 1693 or something like that. It still beat Snow White. Rachel Zegler got beat by a movie written by Mozart. I think it's Mozart. Fact check me. WD Pro, no, not Popcorn Planet. WDW Pro was the channel that I heard them say that on. So I think we could actually go back to the Renaissance type stuff, to the Robin Hood, to the Cinderella. I really think we could. They just need to stop trying to modernize it. What I think they need to do is keep fairy tales in fairyland. I think they need to stop bringing fairy tales into reality. We don't watch fairy tales to be reminded of reality. We watch fairy tales to escape reality. And it seems that Hollywood forgot that. And we don't want to see what we're going to walk out our doors on screen. Like, we have to walk out our doors and already deal with it. We want to be able to, Hollywood, movies, Disneyland, all of it was created for escapism because life is hard enough. Life is hard enough. It is divided enough. It's political enough. Give us a place where we can go where none of that matters. And that used to be Disney, and that used to be Hollywood, and that used to be the entertainment. And it's not. And honestly, I'm wondering how many people on the West Coast, including Governor Newsom, are on a certain, group's payroll. That's what, honestly, I'm starting to wonder with the way the rules and Washington. Like, seriously, if I was Trump, I would investigate every single politician on the West Coast to see if they are on a certain gang's payroll. Straight up. Because there is something going on over here on the West Coast where Washington just they just increased all of our taxes, from income tax to death tax to property tax to gas tax. Literally, they just increased all of our taxes. Why? Because they spent $1.2 trillion on the homeless last year. And trust me, I worked at Royal Life Centers here in Spokane. I saw what that money was going to. I can tell you right now, they're not helping the homeless. They're keeping them homeless so that they can pad their own pockets and make money. Did I write a letter to my senator about this? I wrote a letter to my senator. I wrote a letter to my state representative. I wrote a letter to the government. I wrote a letter to the state head office. I wrote a letter to the government head office. I wrote to the health and organization. I wrote like 16 letters. We have all the UPS receipts. Nobody gave a damn. Not a single person gave a damn. That's why I stopped working here for the homeless, because I realized that nobody here that actually works with the homeless here in Washington State, in Spokane especially, gives a damn about the homeless. All they care about is making sure they have their Lexuses paid for. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. And now that they just increased all the taxes, I'm like, I want to get out of here. Like, my angels and I want to get out of here. We want to get to the East Coast where everybody actually makes sense. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand what the state of Washington is doing, frankly. You are literally, Jeff Bezos already left. You've got billionaires fleeing the state of Washington the way that billionaires fled the state of California. Like, if I had made my decision, I would have been in Virginia or Texas or Florida, one of those 3 states, if I had my decision, my choice. But it wasn't my decision. So anyway, so we're going to jump, now that I'm done with that rant, I do have a couple other rants that I want to bring up in regards to Meghan Markle and Letitia James. Because Amy, and I saw, this is why I looked, because I saw Amy, Amy asked me in regards to their, how do I say this? Oh, I don't even remember their names. I need to pull up your thing. The stabbing victims, the high school in Texas, colored male, white male, twins, stabbing incident at school, college thing. From what I have seen from the very beginning, the person that did the stabbing went looking for a fight. They were there to cause trouble. They left their house that day wanting to do something like this. So I have no sympathy for the person that is trying to play the victim. I have sympathy for the twin and their family. And because you asked what side I'm on, the twin side or the other side, I'm on the twin side, and in that regards. So, and that's just because every time I look at it, the person that did the attacking purposely went out that night to cause trouble. Like they wanted to do this, and that's why it angers me because of the way that it's being handled in the public eye. But here's another thing, Amy, if you need reservations, the angels keep telling me not to worry because in the court of law, he's going to be found guilty. They're going to see it for what it was in the court of law. So he can preach. Oftentimes the guilty parties scream the loudest. And I think parents know this with kids especially. So 20 minutes on the clock. Why do I feel like the two moms that I know are watching just both kind of nodded their heads yes? Anyway, I will see you all. We got 20 minutes on the clock, so I will see you all in 20 minutes. In 3, 2, 1. And don't forget to mute yourself. So that's the end of that timer. Why did I press play? Because yeah. Yeah, that's the end of that 20 minutes. So I've gotten 77 of 105 titles, flags, tablet, whatever you want to call them, in Final Cut Pro done. Technically more than that, because not only am I adding the timestamp and the label of the picture, but I'm also adding in little remarks. So I have more than that I've done so far this sprint and this whole live stream. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. How did everybody else do? Go ahead, if you are here, go ahead and you are working, put your let me know in the comments. Cora's got to go get the toddler to bed and have a good night. Well, good night, Cora. Thank you for coming in and everything else. For those, I should say it now. Thank you to my rewatch crew. I appreciate you guys coming in. I do see the numbers come up, and I do appreciate you guys watching and coming in. Second of all, hello to all my new subscribers. I saw that number boost up again, and I'm just hello to all of you again. Third of all, if you have we are doing still free psychic readings this week. So if you have a psychic question, go ahead and throw it in the comments, and I can answer it for you. And since there is no comments coming in, I'm going to go into my next little rant about Letitia James, because we've got 10 minutes. So, well, I'm going to rant a little bit, and then we're going to close it out, because it'll be the end of our 2 hours, and that 2 hours went by really fast for some reason. So, in regards to, I think it's very interesting. The only reason that I'm bringing up Letitia James, who's the Attorney General for New York, is because karma. When I talked about karma is making its turnaround and turnabout's fair play, it looks like Letitia James is now facing possible problems within the court, I will say, because evidently it's been found out by internet sleuths that she may have just done exactly what she accused Donald Trump of doing and tried to charge him with. The evidence the evidence does not look good. I've watched several people cover this, including Nate the lawyer, and one of my other, it was Nate the lawyer and one other young lady that I have to get her name, because she's fairly new and I've just started recently watching her, but I really like her. But she's been picking up on the Blake Lively and everything else case. But Letitia James, the evidence is stacked against her. You can't be the Attorney General for New York and have your primary residence in Florida. You can't say that your father is your husband in order to get a better mortgage loan. You can't say a 5-resident dwelling is a 4-resident dwelling just so you can get a better insurance price. You broke the law. You lied. And because you're Attorney General, granted, I understand the argument that a lot of people are making that these are minute things, they're little minute mistakes, she's an Attorney General. If this was a normal American citizen, say Cora, Sandy, whatever else, I would say, okay, you know what? Maybe they checked the wrong box. Maybe they didn't exactly understand what they were reading or what they were doing. Maybe whoever was helping them with them gave them the wrong information. I would actually give Cora, Sandy, myself, people I know, the benefit of the doubt. Am I going to give an Attorney General of an entire state the benefit of the doubt when it comes to filling out mortgage applications wrong? No. No, you're an Attorney General. Your whole job is to dot the I's and cross the T's. If anything, I now question everything you've ever touched, unfortunately. And I understand that it shouldn't apply that way, and it doesn't apply that way for most people. Like, I don't care if my friends make mistakes. My friends are allowed to make mistakes. However, if you are going to go above and beyond and go out of your way to try to prosecute somebody for doing the exact same thing that you're already doing, and you're supposed to be the Attorney General of an entire state, no, I'm sorry, at this point I don't trust you. And then the next thing is in regards to Meghan Markle and Harry. And this is more advice to Harry than Meghan Markle. Because from what, and I don't, and guys, this is just conversations that I hear from the other side. Forgive me if I'm probably going to sound crazy. I already know I'm going to sound crazy. Do I believe I actually talked to Princess Diana? No. Do I believe that there's messages that she's giving to me to give to him? Not on a reality level. Like, this table is real. Me talking to Princess Diana is not real. However, just in case this does happen to be happening, I'd like to get the message out there. From what I understand from the other side, Megan made a promise, not only to Princess Diana on a spiritual level, but to the Queen on a personal level. They are not too happy because evidently Meghan Markle is going out of her way to do everything she can to break every promise she's made. Does this hold repercussion on the other side? Yes. It may not necessarily come back to her right away on this plane of existence. However, there's not much that has come back to hit her on this plane of existence because for some reason, her angels have been holding a reservoir of karma for her. My suggestion to Harry is to save face, gather your resources and cut ties where you can, because the Meghan Markle is not, and this is difficult for me to say because I'm just like, I'm going to need proof on this, but Meghan Markle's career reputation may not survive past August of this year. The downfall she has created for herself is not just her doing, but also the backlash of her not keeping promises to people on the other side that are very, very powerful people. You don't break a promise to a mother, and you also don't break a promise to a grandmother. And from what I can see, you've broken promises on both levels. Meghan Markle has. Harry is, it's time to find your cojones, young man, grow some and be a man. And on that note, that is not, and it truthfully, there's a little bit of that is my personal opinion. I do, unfortunately, Harry reminds me a little bit too much of my father, who definitely did not wear the pants in the family, and definitely was not the rule maker in the family. However, enjoyed his little bit of alcohol too much, and also enjoyed maybe overspending for his own sake a little too much. So there's parts of me that I wonder, just like, what is really going on behind the scenes in regards to it. But at the same time, what is coming for Meghan is more of a spiritual karma level of things rather than a simply just not being just simply being on the level of existence that you're on. And on that note, we are going to end this stream because now I'm just babbling and I'm going to go because my brain's all over the place and I need to go back to work. So if you want to raise your glass, we're going to end our cheers, or our stream on our cheers. And may your angels be strong. May your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.